Microsoft PowerPoint 2007, Formatting, Backgrounds, and Orientation. You know, we all, if we think about it, are master painters in our PowerPoint presentations. And in this CBT Nugget, we're going to teach you how to change the canvas, the background that you're painting your pictures on here in PowerPoint. In this CBT Nugget, we're going to take a look at those backgrounds by how we can change the color that we have, if you want gradients, textures, where you have kind of like a paper bag looking feel or marble, pictures where we can actually place and embed a picture into the particular background, and then how we change the size and orientation. Do you always want a landscape or do you want to change it over to portrait? And how about those notes and stuff that we're printing out? How do they come out? Up until now, we've been working on that PowerPoint for our Acme instruments, and we've been using that template that we already installed, right? The Vision tape PowerPoint presentation with the ocean theme, with the pictures. Well, how did they do that? Have you ever wondered and saying, well, Chris, it's nice to get templates, but what if I wanted to create my own background, my own canvas? Because if you notice, this is a background. It's white. And I got black text and gray text on it, but what if I want to change the way things look and feel? Well, what we can do is we go over here, of course, to the design area. Now, once we go to the design, of course, here's where we can go, we got themes and we can change those. Well, those are pre-built. Now, I want to be able to do it myself. We'll look over here, and this is where we're going to concentrate a little bit of our time. And that's going to be on background styles. Now, this is where we choose the background, or the literal page that we're working on, the canvas, as I said. If I click down, it says, okay, well, we got some basic ones that are already in place. We've got, just blue. We got some black and styles, and they've already got some built-in gradients and different colors that we can do. Or you can click on Format Background. Now, what this does is it brings up our Format Background dialog box, and from here is where we can do all kinds of cool things. Now, we can do a couple things. We can do solid fill, we can do a gradient fill, picture or texture fill, or we can even hide the background graphics. Now, why would you want to hide background graphics? Well, this refers to your master slides. Sometimes on your masters, you just want to be able to look at the actual pictures, the things that you have, or maybe there was a template that was given to you and you're like, you know what, I just don't want the background graphics showing up while I'm editing. You can click this and it will hide the background graphics. You can also check it up over here. So if you click on this, this doesn't show the background graphic that's included in the theme you selected. So you wouldn't see, like in my case on my Acme Vision statement, you wouldn't see the ocean. You would just see the color. That would be it. So you can select this. Now, obviously, if you just want a solid color, that's simple. Click Solid Fill, and then come down here and you can say, well, I want what color? Right now it's white. That's pretty simple. Well, you can look at some theme colors. Now, the basic Office theme that comes with PowerPoint 2007, see Office theme down here? These are the theme colors that you have. So you can choose the colors that you want. You can use different gradients of it, or darkness, how bright it is. So you have dark blue, which is lighter, all the way down to dark blue, almost to black. You've got the reds that you can choose. You can use standard colors. You can come down here and say, well, here's standard colors: the reds, the yellows, blues, and Roy G. Biv. As I said, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Or you can click on the more colors, and of course, then you get your standard colors, your custom colors. You can pick an RGB color that you want. These are all things that we can do, depending on, again, what you want to do for your solid color. So if I click here on the color, and let's say I want, kind of that blue that I want, I'll do a blue accent 1, darker 25%. So I click on it. Well, notice what it does is it automatically says, all right, here is what it's going to look like. And, you can kind of have a good idea and go, well, you know what, I don't like that color. I want something different. I want more of a purple color. So you click purple. Now you can see the purple. Then you can see that at this point you can also set the transparency. Now the transparency means how well, like if you have a color over an item, how much do you want that color to kind of move in? So see, what you've got is that background. Maybe you had a picture and you wanted to put the fill color over that background. You can then make it transparent. So these are things that you can do right here. The transparency, set it right here. Just take your mouse and move and slide it up or down for that. So we can say, all right, we want to go ahead and, do that for our color. And we can say, all right, sounds good. We close it, and here's our color. So we have our solid fill color. Now, let's say I come through here and I want to add, come over here, and I'm going to just click some new slides. Notice it goes, oh, okay, well, wait a minute. This one's white. Well, why is that? It's sticking with the Office theme color. I didn't say apply to all. So if I've got a couple of slides here, like this, you know, my standard slides here, only this one's going to be purple. Now watch this. If I select this one, I come back here to Design, go to Background Styles, Format Background, and I choose one of the colors again. Well, guess what? Now, if I click the purple here, the accent, the darker, and I select it, now watch this. If I apply to all, watch what happened. Look, all the slides now have that particular color. So you can select these slides. Now, I can also close this. Now, watch this. I'm going to select this slide. I'm going to hit Control and select this slide. So now I have these two slides selected. This is similar to what we saw with the themes. I come over here, I come to the Format Background, and now this time, let's say I want some to be purple, but then I want some to be aqua. Notice the ones I selected are going to be aqua. I can then close it. Or I can say I want everyone to be aqua, hit apply all, and now I'm good to go. So that's how we can do just a solid color for our background. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And again, it didn't make us have to go through and check on the themes, the different themes that we have. Okay? So that's how we set that up. Now, you'll notice I had other choices. I had other selections here. So if I select this slide, and I come up here to Background Slides, and I say Format Background, you'll notice you also have a gradient fill. Well, what does that do? If I select it, I get some more options here. The gradient fill allows me to literally start with one color and then move on to another color. So you have the different preset colors. Now, you have preset colors that you can choose from, that you can, try, like a late sunset. That looks nice, or nightfall. Notice it starts with one color, and then it moves to the next color. Calm water, ocean, peacock, rainbow 2 or rainbow. You got some different colors that you can have here. And you have sapphire, which kind of alternates. Now, these are all preset colors that you have in place. So if I went ahead and I picked the late sunset, well, you'll notice that the late sunset will go ahead and do that. Now, you can also, check this out, you can also, stick on whether you want it to be more of a radial, where it kind of makes the outline of a circle. You can use rectangular. You can use a path where it kind of follows the path down. And you can even do a shade from the title. So it kind of, you have the title put in place and it shades up from the title. See, here's the title, and notice how the colors shade up from it. Right there. So these are some different things that we can do. Now, we can also do, when you do the linear, it also allows you to do the direction. If I click down, it says, well, do you want to do it from the corner? Do you want to do it down? From a diagonal? From the right? From the left? How would you like to do that? So if you choose it, and now it makes the changes right there. You can even choose the angle that the direction goes from. You can, again, you can go from anywhere from 0 to 359.9, which is almost, 360 degrees from that. You also have the ability to take a look at it from here from the gradient stops. Remember how on one of them, I think it was the sapphire, you've got sapphire here. Well, guess what? You have gradient stops, and you can add. You have stop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have those 8 of them right there. Now you can, of course, add another one and add more, and you can change all the different stop positions, and notice how I'm going from stop 3, and as I roll through here, you're going to see that moving through in my stop position for the particular gradient. You can also change the colors of the gradients. Again, just right here, and then of course you can change the transparency for stop 3, or if you go to stop 5 and you change the transparency, there's stop 5, you can change that one. See, and I added, remember I only had 8, I added 9, and I added 10 to there. So you have a maximum of 10 stops on a particular slide. And then so I can go to step 8 and say, well, I want that, and change the color to a red. And so look at all the flexibility we have here with just a gradient fills. I mean, the sky's the limit here on the canvas that you want to be able to do. So that's pretty cool that we're able to do this. So that's a gradient fill. So we can see how we can do that. Now, the other thing we can do is a picture or texture fill. When I click on this, you're going to see that I have several different types of textures that I can choose from. I can say I want to use a texture here and say, well, hey, I've got, I want to use a fossil fish fossil or a paper bag. Or this one's really good because it looks like green marble. So I select green marble, and you'll notice here in the background that I've got a green marble background. Now I can go ahead and click close, and I can see what it looks like here on the slide. So with the textures, you can see that, there's some really cool textures that we can use. So let's go back over here. Again, and by the way, if you ever need to reset the slide background down to its original, just click here and it will take it back to that original color. So let's click on Format. Again, the textures that we have, all many different types of textures. And these are just preset, pre-built ones that are in here. Some you can't see because they're up here to the top, like the green marble. But let's say I want to do purple mesh. So I'll do purple mesh, and you can see what it looks like there. The other thing that we can do is, of course, we can insert a picture from the file, or we can use the clip art. Now you can tile the picture. Tile the picture. I'm using picture and texture together. The picture as a texture. So if the picture is not big enough, it'll actually tile it. Or you can, take that off and just use it. Instead of tiled, you can use it as one big, huge stretched purple. Like that. The same thing works right here when you click on File, and let's say I want to pick a picture. And let's say we wanted to add a little bit of a drum set for our one right there. So I go ahead and I click Insert on the drum set. Now, right now, what it's done is it's taken the picture and it's literally put the picture up on the actual page. So we can see that we have the picture there in the background. Now, if you tile the picture as a texture, watch this. I click on it, and now it's going to take the picture in its original size, and it's going to then boom, 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 and just make it as a tile. Now, you can change the tiling options here by using your offset. So if you want to change it, now look as I move up, notice how it's moving my x-axis along the bottom here. It's moving it across. So as I go here and it's moving, you can see it move there in the background. Or I can just, hit 0 and bring it back. Well, let's say I want to even it out here. I don't want the symbols showing up here. I can set up the this and just kind of hold it and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving until, now I'm just holding down my mouse, and now look, I want this to be at the bottom. I want the drum to be here, and so now you'll notice it just keeps moving it down. Or you can, of course, say, do you want to use a mirror type? If you do, you can do it horizontal, and so it'll mirror it. Or you can do a vertical. It'll turn this one upside down, or this one's upside down below, and then this one's upside down, so you can do all kinds of different things, or you can even do both, a horizontal. And so look at all the things you can play with. I'm just showing you this, so if you're like, well, what's a mirror type? You can kind of see the results. Play around with this. Seriously, if you're producing your PowerPoint presentation, you guys and gals all know I'm a big fan of experimenting, because what can you do? You can always hit the undo button. But again, if you're in a hurry, though, you might just want to put a gradient fill or a solid fill. Boom, check one of the templates, work with it. That's what the templates and themes are good for. But if you have some time and you really want to get this right, play around with it a little bit. In that set. So if I say no, I just want the picture in the background. Now, one thing you'll need to remember: if I want to apply it to all, I'll need to do that. I'll go ahead. You can also use the transparency. See, I can add it more like a watermark in the background, so that way the title. Why would I want to do that? Take a look at the title here. See, when it's full and it's a full picture, I lose some of my text in the background. But if I kind of make it more of a watermark here in the background, like that, wow, that looks neat. You can still see the drums, but now the text is still going to pop out onto the page. So this gives me the ability to take my canvas and paint with pictures, with textures, with everything that we have here. Now, if you do have a picture on the screen, you can also come here to Picture, and you can recolor it. You can change the brightness of it. You can do some of that. Some fun with those things right there. You can take the contrast, you can move it right there, or just click Reset Picture and it'll bring it back to 0%. You can recolor it, change it to grayscale, maybe make it a certain different color in the background, black and white. These are, again, all options that you can use on the picture, the texture that you have right there. So these are all things that we can do. And of course, just click on Reset Background and it'll take it back to that last change that you did before you added the transparency. But again, I think the transparency, looks pretty cool. You can add the color and adjust it as you need to. Go ahead and click Close, or apply it to all, click Close, and now each one of these slides is going to have that neat picture of the drums for my Acme music instruments, and I can paint my pictures all over this on my PowerPoint. So not only do you notice that when we do these default settings on our PowerPoint presentations, take a look. Every time you look at this, and most of the time when you're using a PowerPoint, what do? You use it on your computer, you project it up onto a screen or on the wall, and so it's going to have this landscape look and feel. Why? Because your computer monitors are set up this way. And so, it's a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's wider across the top than it is down. So 4:3 perspective. Whether you're doing 800 by 600, whether you're doing 1024 by 768, it's always a 4:3 aspect ratio. But sometimes you might not want your slides to look this way. Maybe you're using it on an overhead projector or something different. Well, what you might want to do is change the slide orientation. To do that, notice it's under Page Setup right over here, and click on the down arrow, and you can say, you know what, I want mine to be in portrait mode. So when you do it in portrait mode, notice it now turns it around. Now, of course, your background looks a little bit more squeezed because it's trying to fit that picture, which has been set up for a more of a landscape type of a picture, like most pictures are, but now it's you didn't shoot it up and down like a person standing there, but it changes the look and feel. Now this is just one easy way, but what if you want to change the way that your notes turn out? Well, what are the defaults? Well, let's go over here to Page Setup. The defaults that are set up is that slides in PowerPoint are 10 by 7.5 inches wide. You start your numbering your slides from 1. Your slides are in landscape, but your notes and handouts and outline that you print out will be in portrait mode. So this is where you're going to want to change the orientation and the size of what's going on. Now, if you want the slide size for an on-screen show, you 4:3. You can do a 16:9. Why would you want to do that? Well, widescreens. Think about now on your kiosk displays. There's a lot of times now where you have those widescreen monitors in the hallways of your office, and there's a widescreen. Well, a 4:3 is not going to look the same on those wide. It looks like it's stretched out. Well, to make it look good, go ahead and size your slides for 16:9. That's going to make them 10 by 5.63 inches, and then that way when they're stretched out on the screen, they're going to look a little bit better on that widescreen option. You can do on-screen shows 16:10, letter paper, A3 paper if you're more into the thing. I love this 35 millimeter slides. If you're going to take these and create slides for slide projectors, yeah, you can still do that. You can add that as part of, let's say you're doing pictures that you took, and then now you want to add like a graphic to the the slideshow presentation. Well, you can print these as 35 millimeter slides. You can put the set up to 11.25 to 4.5 or 7.5. So that's the settings. You can do an overhead. So if you're doing like a overhead projector, banner, or custom. Now, when you do custom, this is when you're going to mess around with the this width. And anytime you change the width, you're now using a custom size for your particular slides. Number the slides. All that means is, do you want the slide to start off on 1 or 0? You can go, start your slide numbering at 3. So 3 on. These are just some options that you want to do. You can select that. The default, of course, is going to be up here. It's the on-screen show 4:3. Here's the size, and here's how you number the slides. If you wanted to change all your notes, handouts, and outline to landscape, go ahead and do that. Just click here. And then now when you print things out, it's going to come out in landscape. So that's what the notes, handouts, and outline are going to look like. And some people like to do that because they're like, well, it squishes on the portrait. What is it going to do? It's going to, when it goes to portrait on this, it's going to squish your slides onto the top and then put the notes below. Some people say, I don't want that. I'd rather like it in landscape mode, so that way the slide looks a little bit more normal and the notes are underneath. Again, your mileage may vary. It just depends on how you want the look and feel of your slides that show up on the screen and your print, your hard copies look when you do print them out. So this is where we do that, over here on the Page Setup. And of course, once you do that, now I would be printing them out in a landscape mode. Now you're going to be the Michelangelo of your PowerPoints, because now instead of just white background or having to use the templates that other people have done, you can change the colors of your backgrounds of your slides. Like on this one, it would white, and you can change it to blue if you wanted to match the CBT Nuggets here. You can also change the textures You'll notice that we can add different types of textures that we want, whether it's marble or purple or paper or fossil. Those are all pre-built in, but sometimes they look pretty cool. Pictures, of course, is what a lot of people do. Why? Because, of course, you can insert a picture onto a slide and then stretch it to fill the whole screen. But understand, in the background is the background. And if you lose that image, and a lot of people get confused by that because they'll deselect it and all of a sudden the picture will go away. And you're like, wait a minute, now I have this blank background. What happened to that picture that I inserted? Well, you probably sent it to the back of the background or something like that. By using pictures as part of your backgrounds, that's going to make the difference of, if you lose it or not. And then, of course, we went ahead and took a look at size and orientation, how we can change it to a portrait mode, maybe change the way that our notes are printed out, all of that under the Page Setup dialog box. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.